The new normal is completely different than it was 3 years ago in how people work, where people work, and what we do for work. So let me tell you a little bit about my background. I graduated Madison, UW-Madison. I'm a proud Badger, married to a Badger with 2 little mini future Badgers at home, hopefully. After graduation, I moved to Chicago, and I got a job, and I worked for 2 entrepreneurs in Chicago, and I did marketing and logistics sales for them for a couple of years. And then I married my college sweetheart, and we moved to San Antonio, where we were stationed. Each week, I flew back to Chicago and worked there, and then on the weekends, I would fly back to San Antonio and be with him. Not a sustainable lifestyle for me, him, or my employer's pocketbook. So in 2009, when we got stationed in Little Rock, Arkansas, I decided I would try to find work there. My resume was sent to the VP of a recruiting agency, and soon after I began leading their office there in Little Rock. I had no idea how to recruit or what to recruit, but they had entrusted in me after my interview that I could do this job, so I believed I could as well. Did that job for a while, and I was most excited about working for this company because they had 400 offices around the world. You see, we're a military couple, and I knew that I would need to have one of those offices wherever we were stationed in order to keep working, because virtual work didn't exist yet. Fast forward 4 years when we got stationed in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and there was not one of those offices. So I had a choice. I could either move with him and leave my job, or I could stay and keep working. I chose the third option, which is move back to Wisconsin, manage their Milwaukee and Madison offices, and get everything set up ready for him when he would come home from his last deployment. So that's what I did. I continued working for this recruiting agency here in Milwaukee and continued growing my skill set and my teams and the offices that I managed. But I began to get worried. I had only known working for a recruiting agency, and I had been there for a long time. Most of my friends were leaving jobs after 3-4 years. I had been there for almost 8 years. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I only qualified to be a recruiting agency leader? 2017, I received the LinkedIn message from the most desirable tech company in the world, headquartered in Seattle. I was excited about the message, but also I had just gotten back to Wisconsin and I didn't want to move again. And I literally knew nobody virtually working. But I went through the interview process, got the job, and made my way. I really enjoyed working from home. I really enjoyed working for this large company, and I really found my groove. And then fast forward to March 2020, when the whole world joined me in their virtual work. I was excited to be able to help my friends assimilate to a work from home lifestyle, but I was also nervous as a parent of 2 little kids in a pandemic world. I also worked for one of the companies that was the most imperative to stay open so that everybody else stayed home. So we were quite busy. You see, that landscape changed forever. Our new normal is virtual work. Our new normal is a hybrid of the 2. And today I want to talk to you about how post-pandemic employees outrank customers as the most important stakeholders for a business achieving long-term success. So companies realized in the last few years that their employees are their most important asset. So like I said, the new normal is virtual work. Before COVID, 62% of people worked on site, 30% worked hybrid, and 8%, me, worked from home. Post-COVID, 37% work on site, 52% work a hybrid, and 11% work from home. How we work changed. Where we work changed. And who wants to opt into that work also changed. So the demographics of people who are interested in working from home are you. Gen Z, millennials, 76 and 75% of you want to work from home. You enjoy the freedom of dictating where you work, when you work, how you work. In fact, there are benefits to working from home. 39% of you have heightened productivity and 64% of you have improved focus. Let me talk a little bit about the detriment as well. 4.6% of you, without the flexibility to choose where you work, 4.6 times of you have worse work-life balance and worse social anxiety. 2.6 times worse retention, excuse me. It also affects the diversity of who you get to work for and who you get to work with. 63% of Black workers and 58% of women say they feel more ambitious when working from home. And 52% of Black workers and 50% of women say working from home is better to advance their career than in the office. So now you have a more diverse workforce, you have more flexibility, you get to choose things like when you go to work, where you go to work. And then came corporate activism. So over the last 3 years, a lot has changed in our landscape, and we want to hear from our employers about what matters to us. We want to hear about BLM, we want to hear about LGBTQ, we want to hear about how their stances on gun violence, social engagement. We want our employers to line up with what we believe in, and we have a choice. So employees, customers, and investors are these stakeholders in these companies, and we have a say in how we spend our money and where we make our money with where our ethics line up. In fact, 2 in 5 Gen Z and millennials have rejected a job based off of their ethics and how their ethics line up. You all have watched the news over the last couple of years of boycotting this product or purchasing from this company because it aligned with what your beliefs were. And now we're saying it even matters to your job. The other new normal is that we're in a talent shortage. This is really exciting to you as you guys are looking for jobs. But a talent shortage actually matters because for you, you might have to wear multiple hats. You might get this one job, but you might have to also do this portion of this other job at the same time. How much of a talent shortage are we in? 3 in 4 companies are struggling to find the right employees to fill these jobs. So what does this mean for you? You can work where you want, hopefully with a diverse group of people. You can wear all these different hats, and how do you fit all into this? Continual self-development is also the new normal. So let me tell you a little bit of a story. So a couple weeks ago, I was talking to my mentor about all the things I wanted to focus on this year. I want to improve this about myself. I want to change that about myself. I want to do this differently. And he sent me a clip the next day. And in that clip was something I had to share with you today. Reinvention happens when you diversify your gift. Reinvention happens when you diversify your gift. So what does that mean? How do you create who you are and then diversify that from there? You have to hone in on your soft skills. So not just, okay, I go to my accounting classes and I learned all these formulas and this will be really useful when that accounting firm hires me. Not just that, but those soft skills. So reliability, resilience, adaptability, creativity, and analysis are all really important for you to stand out amongst your peers. So you might already have that job or you might get that job, but what keeps you moving along in the ladder as you go, in this sphere as your growth takes place, are your soft skills. What stands out between you and your peer in getting that promotion are your soft skills. I also encourage you to build a personal board of directors. So personal board of directors are your mentors, your friends, your parents, a networking group that you're a part of. Your personal board of directors are the people that continue to encourage you to get out of your comfort zone. Stop relying on who you've always been, because what got you here actually won't get you there. So this is my personal board of directors. There's a lot of people there. They all push me out of my comfort zone. In fact, one of the people pictured there signed me up for this TED Talk. I should talk to him later, but he fully got me out of my comfort zone. And I am here today because those people continue to encourage me to take risks. So if you have a board of directors, you still need people on there who are going to tell you, great job, Rachel. You're doing great. Everything you're doing is wonderful. And then you need to have those people who are going to tell you everything you're doing is wonderful and do this next, or and have you thought about it this different way. And lastly, don't let your background be your limitation. Like I said, I had never had experience in logistics before. I had never had experience in recruiting before, and I had never worked for a large tech company. Now, I'm not saying if you're an accounting major, run out and apply to nuclear engineering jobs. But what I am saying is take risks. Take risks that maybe you don't have all the qualifications for that job, but you have this manager that looks out for you, that encourages you to develop your growth. Raise your hand and say, hey, have you thought about me for that job? I see that one's open. What can I do to grow into being ready for that job? Step one is asking those questions, making sure that your leader is looking out for you, but making sure that you're also vocalizing when you're ready. And when you have accomplished all of that, and you're still not exactly sure where to start your day, you can look in the mirror and do what my daughters do. And you can say, I am brave, I am strong, I can do this. Thank you so much.